Hello folks, this is Nigel at Spiritual Awareness New Zealand on Saturday, May the 11th, 2019, and I want to make a video here, so here I am, to update on some interesting things, just general basically. I haven't made a video for a long time. I've been very busy, which has sort of, I guess, affected that. And there just didn't seem to be a need, but as it happens, I feel there's a need, so here we are. Now, yesterday was my birthday, by the way, just saying that. And I am, guess what? How old? 58. Really seems old, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it. Okay, now I want to talk to you about some interesting things, and let me just minimize this so I can, oh no, I can't do it that way. Okay, I'll do it another way, like that. Oh, where is it? I'm just getting this screen sorted. Like that, maybe. No, that's not it. Okay, just bear with me for a moment here. These videos generally tend to be rather informal, as you can tell, and we'll go that way. I can't see the screen myself. I'm just following what's going on here. Okay, so starting here now. I have been pushing. I've been sort of like speaking out about mainstream media a lot lately. And if it's any different anywhere else in the world, I'll be surprised, but I'm talking about New Zealand here. And in New Zealand, the mainstream media just pump out a lot of crap, and most of us realise that. They're full of bad news, lots of bad news, and creating a lot of hate, a lot of division, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of worry, you know. And so since the talking about the mass shooting in Christchurch, and since that point in time, they have been pushing on that subject, and on a lot of other things, vaccination, and, well, car crashes, the usual. Now, there is, I sort of such a big subject here, I'm not almost really sure of how to even broach and sort of talk about this, but I'll give it a shot. Basically, why is mainstream media pushing out all this bad news just on a constant basis? Well, it is to keep us in fear. It is to keep us worried, stressed, and so forth. And I want to explain, or just look at some of the reasons why that is. Now, recently I made a complaint, which is still in the works, to the Broadcasting Standards Association against Duncan Garner of News Hub for calling anti-vaxxers, people who are against vaccination, calling them murderers. Now, murder is an offence in New Zealand. It's a criminal offence to murder somebody, as you're probably very well aware. I hope you are. Okay. And so the word murder is an offensive word, and that is the argument I have put there as my complaint, amongst other things. And MediaWorks replied to my complaint saying that anti-vaxxers were not a group, and yet they constantly harp on about this group of people called anti-vaxxers. So they contradict themselves in all of this. Anyway, I've put this complaint through to Broadcasting Standards Association, and they are currently investigating it and will come up with a result soon. Now, I'm hoping for a favourable result because it could be a precedent to hold the media accountable in New Zealand for the rubbish, the absolute rubbish they publish, and the hate speech, the incitement to violence and so forth, which they are creating. Make no mistake about it, this is a deliberate effort on their part. And so I have had people ask, well, why would they do that? Why would they deliberately, create hate if that's what you're insinuating and so on? Well, okay, here is where I want to answer that question. Now, NewsHub is owned by MediaWorks in New Zealand. Now I'm looking at the MediaWorks. I'll just read this out to you. MediaWorks is a New Zealand-based television, radio and interactive media company owned entirely by Oaktree Capital Management, which is an American company, a very, very big American company. It operates play-out services from Auckland and Wellington studios via Cordia's microwave network for NewsHub, 3 and Bravo, 10 national radio brands, 18 websites, and 3 locally operated radio stations. So MediaWorks is owned by Oaktree Capital, and so MediaWorks, by the way, do a large portion of New Zealand media. I'm just trying to find the information on that. They do a huge amount. They are the biggest, I think, in New Zealand, the biggest media company. And anyway, it matters not how much, except to know that it's a lot. And the other media companies aren't a whole lot different in their urges, their intentions and so forth. But let's have a look a little bit further at this. Oaktree Capital is a company that also has a majority stake in a company called Cogent Glass. Now, Cogent Glass is a company, a very large glass company, that manufacture molded type glass vials and tubular glass vials and ampoules, and support. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so that's what they manufacture, okay, for pharmaceuticals, okay. So why am I reading this out? Why is this important? Oaktree Capital owns a glass company. They're a major stakeholder, shareholder in this Cogent Glass. Now, what that means is that when people get medical treatment, when they get stressed and they go on medication and so forth, the profits for Cogent Glass go up, right? So you can be damn sure that Oaktree own a damn sight more than Cogent Glass. In fact, they do, of course. And there is a very, very good YouTube video. It's also written up as a document called Silent Weapons for Silent Wars, I think it is. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Very good one, but it discusses the economic warfare, if you like, that actually goes on, the manipulation and control of whole economies for profit by these corporations and the individuals who own them. And so going back to New Zealand media, mainstream media in New Zealand, what we're looking at is Oaktree owns Cogent Glass. They want to push up their profits in Cogent Glass and the other companies they own. So they push out, using the mainstream media, they push out bad news and constantly. Now, they get advertising for it, advertising dollars through the mainstream media. So the mainstream media companies are profitable in themselves. But then they, through their fear-mongering and worry, hate articles and so forth, they stress people. The stressed people then end up going and eventually getting onto various medications via their friendly doctor, their hospitals and so forth. And Cogent Glass makes a healthy profit, as well as other, as I say, other Oaktree Capital companies make good profits. So by the manipulation and control of people via mainstream media, using the huge corporate power, political power of these corporations to influence governments even, they're able to manipulate right down to the individual for their own profit. Does that make sense? I hope so. So if you think that sounds incredible, it is, but that is actually what goes on. And like I say, Silent Weapons for Silent Wars, I think is the name of the YouTube video, the documentation. You can Google it, and it's there. So that is that subject. Now, what else was I going to talk about? Probably not a whole lot. That was actually one of the things that's been bothering me, and it does bother me because you don't need to buy into all this crap. I see a lot of people on Facebook who are looking at these things that are happening and with some alarm and you know, worry, concern and so forth. Oh my gosh, you know. And I don't know how to put this again too, but I just held this competition, leveling the playing field competition or awards. Actually, it's not really a competition per se. It's just an awards for people who have done work to benefit the community through speaking out, human rights and so forth. And so we awarded $150 to Sarah Jane, who has been working on the raising awareness on the harm of vaccinations. And she wrote a very nice letter of appreciation for that money. But I wanted a lot more people to donate toward it. And I hope to make this an annual award, because I think we need to help each other and we need to stand up. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. We have over 20,000 people, 25,000 people on Spiritual Awareness New Zealand. We have other people in other groups, some of them in both groups or in several groups. And if we really, helped each other a bit more, if we helped to push this whole thing forward, work together a bit more on all of this, we could really make some dents in a good way. And it can all be done legally without violence or anything like that. And I think that's what we need to do. Hence, I had this Leveling the Playing Field Awards, which is actual, for those of you who are interested, It's actually a Facebook page called Leveling the Playing Field, and you'll see it because there's my photo on it, on the profile picture for the page. And so that's one thing we're kind of trying to do to kind of make some positive moves, if you like. Yeah, I want to do a lot more in the next year. I'm planning on going to South Africa, as I've mentioned to a few people already, for a couple of months to do some spiritual enhancement over there. And I will be making a full report on how that goes. Yeah, but that is what we need to be doing. Now, there's another thing, is that I think a lot of people have the idea of, oh, what could I do? I don't have a lot of money. I can't do this. I can't do much by myself to change the political situation, to change what's going on in the world. And that's not true at all. You know, Sarah Jane, for example, managed to get the anti-vax, the Vaxxed movie into New Zealand, and as a result, the vaccination rates in the North Island lowered. At that time, it was noted in the media, and that was just through her speaking out constantly and so forth on that theme, that subject. And you know, awesome work. But you know, any of us can do that, and if we're working together, then we can do even more. And on top of that, there is another issue in all of this, is that I think very few people realise that spiritually there is a lot more to how you affect things, how you change things, than you may realise. Now you think, oh, well, you know, we need to change, I don't know, a particular law or something like that. And you think of it in terms of, well, we'd need to go to Parliament and we'd have to talk to a lot of people and so forth. You know, actually, you can do it another whole way, and it doesn't even require talking to anybody, particularly on that subject directly, if you like. And it takes a little bit to understand this, but the solution is in creating more rational people, right? More rationality, more sanity, more ability. And as you create more ability and rationality and sanity, your the attention drops away from all the negativity that is happening and toward positivity. And looking around in society over the last while, there are far too many negative people, and most people actually are absorbed very much in a lot of negative stuff, and that could be people that bother you, and that can be a big part of it, you know, like personalities, people who are in your way or getting in your way, people who have crazy ideas or you know, are very stubborn, or and you want to do something about that. Well, there are ways to do that without having to do a whole lot, except improve your own abilities, your own certainty, your own rationality. And I've promoted a lot of solutions on that basis on Spiritual Awareness New Zealand. And you can look at those links, you can look at the quotes that I've posted. There are books you can buy on our Spiritual Awareness website. DVDs, and there are free courses that you can do. There are links to those on Spiritual Awareness New Zealand Facebook page in the learning section, and you'll see in there's a whole section on free courses, free spiritual training. And sometimes people go, oh, well, you're trying to make somebody into a Scientologist, and you're trying to convert people to Scientology. No, it's not about that at all. This is not about that. This is about raising your ability as a being. That's all it's about, right? I don't care about anything else. I'm not. You don't ever have to become a Scientologist particularly, but this knowledge is there. Use it. That's the whole idea. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But I'm saying that it makes a huge difference. It's like kind of like, I don't know, having a brand new car parked outside your house and never using it, because you think that by using it you might support the manufacturer, and you don't like car manufacturers making profits. It's that kind of ridiculous. These are tools that you can use, and the tools assist you in becoming more rational, raising your awareness level, and being able to make your own decisions. Now, this is not about manipulation, because what we're doing is increasing your ability to think for yourself, right? So to be more self-determined, right? To be more rational and so forth, to be able to look at and really get what is true, what is not true, not for Scientology, not for me or anything like that, but for you, right? For you to weigh it up yourself. And if it works, use it. If it doesn't, it's not for use. But this stuff is very, very workable tools, technology, and so forth. So that it's all there, right? So I just encourage you to kind of go ahead with that. But like I say, you have to make the effort. And if you are one of these keyboard warriors, one of these people who just want to sit there and whinge about what's going on in life, then that's another whole story, right? Things don't change just by that alone. Sure, absolutely, there is the point of speaking out about things when you see that they're wrong. Speaking out about abuses and human rights and so forth. Absolutely. But don't become so fixated on that you stop to putting things into yourself, to boosting your own mental and spiritual potential, because that is the most valuable asset that you have. And I have yet to find somebody who would disagree with that. If you're in good shape, then you can help your family, your friends more, and so forth. And there are tools to help them directly as well. And the more that you help yourself, the more you find out that helping yourself is dependent on helping other people, because we're all interconnected. You help other people, you'll suddenly start feeling better. You help yourself, and you'll soon want to help other people as well. You see, so it works both ways. You see, you can't help yourself if the help is really, really good. You cannot help yourself without increasing your desire to help other people. It's not possible. It just doesn't work that way. Not if it's real help, right? And so anyway, there's a thought for you. Now I'm going to close that screen on Oaktree Capital, because I don't really want to look at that anymore. It just not the most positive positive kind of information. So anyway, that probably covers what I was going to, what I wanted to say in this video. I mean, I really have intention to get a lot more happening in New Zealand in the next year or two, and I hope that we can work together. I'd be happy to get message from any one of you who are watching this, see what we can start doing. Open to ideas. And anyone who wants to join the Leveling the Playing Field awards, that's kind of an ongoing thing, and basically if you can donate money toward that, then that's one way you can help, because we can put that money toward the next project, the next award for somebody who's working out there to better human rights, to improve conditions for all of us. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up at that, and thanks very much for listening. Let me see, where am I? Here we go. I'll get this onto Facebook soon.